town meeting of the year. Will you please join me for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
United
States.
States of America.
Town meeting of the year. Will you please join me for the pledge of allegiance?
Indivisible, liberty and
Justice
justice.
for
Pledge
all.
allegiance to the flag of the United States.
It's not coming tonight.
He's
Oh, I see, okay.
working up near Albany.
Move things around.
Pam, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Kais,
Here, I Zoom.
Councilman Chase,
Here.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Supervisor Williver,
Here. Announcements. I'm sad to announce that Deb Cusey and David Glocker have both resigned from the Zoning Board of Appeals. And Lori Spalding, her term was up and she's chose not to stay on the zoning board. So we have 3 openings on the Zoning Board of Appeals. And Paul Corbin has resigned from the Planning Board. I'd like to thank him for their service and commitment and dedication to the town of Rush and wish him well in the future. Public comment period. Anyone have something they'd like to say to the town? Mary Ann? No green light. There she goes.
Testing, testing. Hi, Mary Ann Rizzo, 25 Stoll Road. I'm here to talk to you about 2 things. One is the hole that I mentioned to you on December 10th. I sent you all an email on Gola Road.
Mhm.
So what happened was I was walking my family dog, a golden retriever. He's about 95 pounds, and he fell right into this hole. And it was scary for him, and he had to crawl out of it. He was literally stunned. He was able to get out, and then I since went back and measured the holes. And these holes are 2 feet by 3 feet wide,
Mhm.
and they're 2 feet deep. So they propose a health hazard for anyone on that road who might get right off the shoulder. And I'd really like you to take a look at them. I'd like you to each go down there and take a look at them as a public health hazard. I know animals can and have fallen into them. So if you could address this for the citizens, I would appreciate it. I'd like it to be a matter, I'd like to, I'm not sure how the public, the notice of defects law works, but this is, I would like to give you a notice of a defect in the town. And I know that it wasn't caused by our town. It's clearly utility, something to do with utility. In fact, they're metal containers that are underground.
Mhm.
And originally the cone that was at the one of them was inside the hole. And and that's so I never saw it. And the dog never saw it. And so I took it out of the hole and I put it next to it. But I since have seen there's 4 of them all together,
They're all broken.
and they're not sinkholes, but there's containers underground that are open up for anybody to fall into. So if you could make it a point to go over there and look, I'd appreciate it. And, I did appreciate when Luther texted me, emailed me back and said that, or texted the board back and said, maybe we put a fence around it for now. And because I know that the town didn't cause them, but still, if the town could help, so no one has an accident between now and whenever they get remediated, I think it's very important. So that's the first thing. The other thing was that I didn't notice, this is regarding the minutes, the preliminary minutes, and I didn't notice that my comments on the Moore rezoning project proposal, they didn't appear in the minutes, but I just wanted to say that I was one of the several in opposition to the project, and I'll go real quick because I want to stay within my 3 minutes. But my points were that the Moore rezoning proposal to limited industrial, it's not in the comprehensive plan. It will not result in lower taxes to the townspeople. And there's other parcels that are available that are limited industrial that are not built out yet in our town. It will bring down property values, and 2 people have already moved out of that area in anticipation of this possibility. And also that if anything could happen in this anything under what a limited industrial zone could happen there once it gets rezoned. It's not, I know that they downplayed it. Oh, it's just maybe some craftspeople that are building out their barn or that couldn't stay in their garage anymore, woodworkers. But really, you could see a lot of things go in there. So I just don't believe it would be a potentially low-key thing. And it could also be a gas station, which I think, as I said before, would be competition for the new gas station going in over there at Tough Trucks. And I just think that's just a big bummer for someone just, putting all their money into to the new gas station and things like that. But it didn't get in the comprehensive plan survey of 1/3 of our town. And they essentially said that that we don't want any more limited industrial parcels. So those are the things that I had said, but it didn't appear to be in the preliminary minutes. And I just wanted to make sure that as a matter of public record, that these things are written down. Because that's why I come here, is just to know that maybe I'm getting listened to a little bit. So that's it. I hope you have a happy new year.
Happy New Year to you. Anyone else? We'll move to approval of the minutes.
So I submitted my comments and maybe nobody had a chance to read them about the November 25th, 24 minutes being, in my opinion, not reflective of the meeting, but so unless anybody has read them and want to talk about them, either that or we could take some time and you'll have a chance to read what I wrote. And we could pass on it for this time.
I saw them. I didn't have a chance. I saw they came through. I hadn't had a chance to read the comments that you had made on that.
I didn't read through it either.
So I'm fine with putting that one aside for now.
Okay. So I move to approve town board minutes of regular meeting of Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, as submitted by town clerk Hargrave. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'm sorry?
I'll second.
Oh, okay.
Councilwoman Morale,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Abstain.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye. Luther, did you get the notes on the transfer of funds?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Did you get the notes on the transfer of funds?
Yes, I did. I saw. Do you want me to read all of them or?
Summaries, the summary in gray at the bottom? There's a little gray box.
Yeah, hang on one second.
We have to transfer some funds around, a budget is a best guess estimate of what we're gonna spend money on in each allocated fund. The end of the year, we have a little bit extra money in this account and a little bit, not enough money in that account, so we transfer around so the books balance at the end of the year and we don't run over. And that's what all these transfers are about.
So from what I could see, nothing more had to come out from the unappropriated
No.
fund balance. It was just within internal
Yeah.
accounts.
Budgeted money being moved around to pay for other
Right.
stuff.
Just a little extra here and a little short over there.
Right.
All right, Dan, you want me to read these then?
Sure.
It doesn't have to.
May it be moved, resolved that having audited all the unexpended balances of existing appropriations, I move that transfer number 4-12 in the amount of $133,616 be approved. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Yeah, just 4-12 or 4-12.
4 through 12.
4 through 12.
Councilwoman Morale,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye.
Next one, be it resolved that having audited all the unexpended balance of existing appropriations, I move the transfers 1 through 4 in the amount of $235,122 be approved. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Morale,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye.
Be it resolved that having audited all the unexpended balance of existing appropriations, I move that transfers number 13 in the amount of $20,880 be approved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Morale,
Aye.
Kais,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye. Now the approval of the abstract, Luther?
Having reviewed all vouchers on abstract 12-2 of December 30th, 2024, authorized payment totaling $55,241.68, which includes funds AA General for $25,663.23, DA Highway Townwide for $21,432.37, and Fund LL Library for $8,146.08. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Morale,
Aye.
Councilman Kais,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye. Next, we have report of officers. Deputy Supervisor Chase.
I don't have much to report, unfortunately, with the holidays and rescheduling and everything going on. I missed the last planning board meeting. I apologize for that. I will try not to let that happen again, but, yeah, other than that, I have nothing to report.
Councilperson Morelli.
So, on December 17th, I attended the fire commissioners meeting, and I don't have anything
Okay.
to report from that, sorry.
Councilman Brown.
Nothing to report.
Councilman Kais.
Today, like the rest of us, I got a letter from Ms. Holt, and in regards to an official statement by the Conservation Board, that she'd like to have read into the minutes. I don't think it'll take me that long. I'll read it here quick. Conservation Board serves in advisory capacity to the Town Board, Planning Board, and Zoning Board of Appeals with respect to use of the land and its effect, both short and long term, on the environment, The Conservation Board was represented in the development of the comprehensive plan. Therefore, the Conservation Board would like to state its position on the Moore requested rezoning. Referring to New York State legislation, New York State Town Law, Section 272-A, 1C, the development and encampment by the town comprehensive plan as a means to promote health, safety, general welfare of the people of the town. All the town land use regulations must be in accordance with a comprehensive plan. The above provisions ensure that the zoning laws and other land use regulations align with the town's comprehensive plan, fostering consistency and orderly development within the town. This rezoning is considered spot zoning and is inconsistent with the town of Rush's comprehensive plan. The Rush comprehensive plan states agricultural soil suitability. Approximately 80% of the town's land area consists of high-quality agricultural soils. They're classified as prime farmland or statewide importance of prime if drained. In the USDA Soil Survey, see Map 7, agricultural soils, approximately 11,798 acres, representing 60% of the town's land area, consists of prime soils. The soils are hardly suited to agricultural production and represent an important resource to the region's agricultural industry. The Town of Rush Agricultural and Farmland Protection Plan, we place a high value of our prime farmlands as irreplaceable resources. We will work in partnership with local farmers and landowners to manage community development in a sustainable manner that respects, protects, and preserves our farms and natural resources in balance with the individual needs of all our residents, property owners, and businesses in the town. The Conservation Board is against the Moore requested rezoning because it's contrary to the comprehensive plan. Additionally, it will convert prime agricultural land, which has high environmental value, to limited industrial land, which has no environmental value. Furthermore, the rezoning will set an unfortunate precedent if approved. That's from the Conservation Board. They discussed it earlier in the month here. I saw this today come out, and they asked us to have it read into the minutes. Other than that, that's all I got.
Thank you. Pam, do you have a report?
Yeah, Councilman Kais, can you send that report to me as well?
I will.
Could you actually forward it to the whole board? Would that be appropriate?
Oh, I thought it says here is forwarded to all of us, but yes, I'll send it to everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing it.
Yep, I'll send it out.
Thank you.
I received the town and county tax warrant to collect $4,977,619.36, which the town portion is $1,849,845.14. Just to give the town board and everyone an update, our IT equipment will be moved shortly. Tomorrow, our IT person has a meeting with the library, Monroe County Library person, so that they can coordinate exactly how to move things and what can or cannot be moved by them and need their assistance. Same thing with the telephone equipment and everything. They will give us an update tomorrow. And just wanted to remind everyone, we did have a Monroe County meeting and our bank representatives were there just to remind us there's a lot of fraud out there. There's a lot of emails coming through also, even to the town, that are not real. They're just phishing. Don't click on any links. Don't click on anything to open if you really don't think that it's coming from somebody that you trust. We don't want any more of those things happening. And I believe Supervisor Williver and Councilman Chase performed my 2022 and 23 town clerk and tax receiver audit And I believe you're gonna do something about that. Submitted a letter to me. And I believe that's it.
Thank you. Kevin, do you have anything?
I don't have anything to report this time.
DJ, you have a report?
Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it tonight, and I had mentioned to Dan, Mr. Wolver, town supervisor, about kind of the timing of the Christmas lights, so when to, I'm not rushing anybody to take them down, but we probably should have some sort of, I guess, schedule, so I can plan my days to pick a nice day for them guys to be out there taking them down. Something to think about a little bit, and within the next couple weeks. I mean, I'll leave them up till June. It doesn't matter. But
Be a lot easier to take down when it's warm out.
something to think about. Getting back to some public comment, the holes have been addressed. Like I said, the past meeting, I've reached out or trying to find a permit that was issued before my tenure as highway superintendent to find the company who installed them to try to get them replaced. They are all plastic. They are not steel. I have put cones by them, and I would appreciate that maybe the town board members, if received a complaint, that they'd reach out to me before, advising on what they think should happen to the roads within the right of way. I guess it's all ultimately my decision on what happens. We have coned them off. There is hundreds of miles of trails in this town. There are parks. There's the 100-acre park. There's plenty of places to walk Fluffy and your dogs and everything else that you want to take out there. So I guess for the time being, I'd recommend staying off Gola Road. We're doing snow and ice at this point. It's been a good week this far. Looks like next week we're gonna have some more snow, so that's where we stand at this point. Thank you.
But can I just ask, with regard to these holes, they sound dangerous. I didn't see them myself, so I apologize, but
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
way off, way off the shoulder of the road. They're plastic boxes. They're fiber optic that was run down to the National Grid substation.
so whose responsibility?
That's I'm still looking for these permits that were issued prior to me to find somebody to,
Repair 'em.
to fix them. So there's a lot of farm equipment on that road. They don't hold up well to farm equipment. So it's, an ongoing thing. And I think it always probably will be an ongoing thing.
You just gotta find the right people to contact when something
Yeah,
happens. to
maybe
get
they
fixed.
can change them to be concrete boxes. I know the ones on the north side that we had recently given a permit for are concrete. They hold up way better to the equipment, so.
Okay,
Just a thought, if you can't find the permits, there may be an easement in favor of RG or to whomever that may be of record, and I can help look that up.
Yeah,
just to see if
I
they
have
can-
thousands of them.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
And it was done a couple of years prior to me taking over as highway superintendent. I was an employee there,
Yeah.
So it's just finding the right company and being able to kind of, forcefully get them to repair them.
Gotcha. Nope,
at
makes
this
sense.
point.
thank you. I attended the town holiday party up at the Creekside. We didn't have any accidents working comp wise, and for not having any accidents, they gifted us, or they gave us a $1,300 bonus or check, and we used that for the party up there. It was fairly well attended. And I attended a party over at a horse's friend for celebrating the holidays over there. That was very nice. Moving on to old business, the water district, the final map has been drawn up by MRB Group. It's basically ready to go. The town board needs to accept the map, the plan, and the report that they put together. It's quite detailed. everything, as far as I can tell is listed in here. It's, it, it's very well done. So we need to accept that and the process can move forward. We're nearing the end.
How do we accept it as one step of what we need to do? Do we have to
Effectively,
say
you
something?
can basically accept the proposed MRB plan. The town approves the proposed plan and then that'll move the process forward. I'll be working with MRB to prepare the basically the proposed petition form that can be disseminated to the public so that we can figure out if the individuals that have been identified within the proposed district want to move forward with the district or so we can
Right.
get their signatures on it. We can evaluate from there and then determine if we're going further or if we're and that's the kind of the process, right? There's not enough support.
Right.
But basically, there's no magic to it, it's just basically accepting the MRB. Back.
So you have a resolution or do we need to?
I think if you can just, I can do something off the top of what I got here.
Okay, go ahead.
I so move to accept the maps, plan and report provided by MRB Group for the proposed Town of Rush Central Water District. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I got a question. Dan, I talked to you earlier today. Did you ever get an answer to that question?
Pardon?
Or is that something that we can add later?
Or I think he's talking about the difference in the PVC pipe to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm,
I'm all for this water plan, don't get me wrong, but I'm not in favor of putting the town on the hook for indefinite water repair bills. The town got out of this years ago and gave it to the county. And while the PVC pipe is much cheaper, and there's no doubt about it, and makes it more affordable for all intents and purposes. But we're also putting the town on the hook for any and all repairs, as it's clearly stated in that report. And I cannot, if the water district wants to take on that challenge,
I think that's what the report says, Luther, from my reading of it, is that in the report from the engineers, talks about the district maintaining a fund, if you will, a reserve for potential repairs down the road. So it doesn't say anything about the town picking up the cost.
well, the one I saw is the town will be responsible for the maintenance of repairs of the pipe, because the county will not accept plastic pipe. Now, I know there's secondary talk in the background where the county may accept it somewhere down the road, but that's a big hook to swallow without the unknown.
DJ, do you by chance have any background in this?
I guess all I can speak from is, in what the water authority has made us put in the past when running new water lines to, put a new culvert in and that kind of stuff, it's had to been ductile iron. I mean, it's hearsay on my behalf that they have plastic line, in other counties that they have taken over.
I've heard that.
And so I guess I don't know. I think that, with what Luther is saying is that I don't see how we can be, necessarily responsible for repairing a water line that they're charging for the water that is, the service to people's houses. With that being said, I mean, our crew is only so big. And typically they don't break in the nicest weather. It's gonna take more equipment and maybe some more manpower if that is how it is. I
And
don't know.
some of that specialized manpower. It's not.
So, I mean, not saying we can't do it. I'm just saying that it's gonna take a little more on our behalf to, fully understand what our responsibilities are. So,
Kevin, is there a way to approve this on the condition that we get positive feedback that the Monroe County Water Authority would be responsible if we use PVC pipe?
We can, or we can hold off on on approving it until you get comfortable that what the future maintenance responsibilities are going to be.
But
I
what
know.
about what I read in the report that said that there, about
Within the
setting up a reserve?
I think it would be wise to get clarification from MRB, and I'm happy to look at it as well to come up with what that determination is, so that the board is fully aware of what the process is going to be going forward. Because right now there seems to be some inconsistency, so it would make sense to get that clarified before proceed with the next step. Because typically, my read of these has been that there is the reserves are primarily set up for the fact that in the future, when these things have failures, the people within the districts aren't gonna be able to shell out thousands of dollars each to have the maintenance. That's why a portion of the money that they're paying every year goes towards those, basically the capital improvement fund, or whatever they
Right.
classify it as. But it certainly, if there's a question, I think it would be best to have that run down and work with MRB just to nail that point down, so that you guys are comfortable with what that responsibility of the town, if any, is going to be.
Okay, so who would do that?
I mean, MRB should be the one doing that, right?
Yes.
I mean,
They-
they should be the one reaching out to Monroe
Yes.
County.
Yeah,
So it's certainly something that, I'm happy to, if you want me to reach out to them to get clarification on, or if you want to, it doesn't matter to me, but I think it would be a good idea.
I can contact her tomorrow.
Me
that
personally, I
clarified.
would feel more comfortable with Monroe County Water Authority being responsible for any repairs. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah,
Reserve
it
fund
could-
or-
yeah, I'd like to see them take it over,
It
But I
would
took
put-
turn
they
back
may be
to-
responsible to do the repairs, but the costs will be coming
Okay.
from. I think once Monroe County takes ownership and once it's designed and installed pursuant to their specs.
And their
they
water's
take
running
over.
through it,
Yes, they take
Then-
ownership of
but
it.
we have to pay for it.
That's typically been my understanding, so we just want to make sure that that's in fact the case.
But if it's not PVC, if it's
Dr.
Right, if
They're
they won't
gonna
take
cover
if
it.
they won't accept it because it's PVC, then what happens in that instance? It could be a town responsibility in
Right.
lieu of that.
But if we put iron in up front, Monroe County covers it at no cost to us in the future for repair.
And the only thing we would need to verify from MRB is what, if any, financial impact increased cost on it.
Right.
it's about $1 million.
Right.
It's a lot of money.
Right. So but to that point, I think it'd just be important to get clarification from MRB as to, is this proposed system with the PVC going to be accepted by the Monroe County Water Authority, and will there be the reserves sufficient to, maintain
Okay.
this going, in the future for perpetuity that will not necessitate the town paying for the cost effectively.
Kevin, have you had any new water districts in your experience where they have put in PVC that you can recall, or?
I can't recall that that being utilized. It's been years since I've had my, the one done, and I believe the one that I had done was not PVC.
Okay.
But again, it's been a while, so I don't know what the county is now, if they're transitioning to more, PVC versus, metal. That could be certainly something that a change that they've made. I just don't know that off the top of my head.
I'll contact MRB tomorrow,
Thank you.
get some clarification.
At this point, do we want to, I'll retract my motion and we can table this until
I
we
would
get
table
some more
it,
answers.
get some
Table it.
clarification on it.
Yeah.
I don't think that will mess up the proposed timeline. You can
Yeah.
still proceed.
Yes,
Um,
okay.
generically speaking, with the proposed timeline that MRB provided. Again, we just need some clarification.
So till next meeting, so
Yep.
we can
Yep.
keep going.
We've already done the budget transfers. Did everyone have a chance to look over parts 1 through 4 of the employee handbook?
So I did. There
Did-
wasn't anything to,
If you had any questions at all,
It all
Was that
seemed
put
pretty
together by
straightforward.
somebody?
pardon?
Was it put together by somebody?
A whole, like a workshop.
We've been working on it most of the past year.
Because it seems all typical
It's,
Right.
it's,
handbook
It
kind of information.
basically-
and It seemed like it covered everything.
Yeah,
it's basically typical, but we have to renew it every year, so we went through every line of everything.
Yeah.
And If you're okay with 1 through 4, we'll move on to the next section and try to get this done.
I hope
Okay.
it gets more interesting in the next.
Oh, there's some, well, there's
Yeah.
nothing really that
I'm
interesting.
okay with 1 through 4.
Yeah. That's, well. Thought this would be better than, read the whole thing and let me know.
Yeah.
So, and we're all good, okay with that.
Are we going to schedule the informational public meeting or not? On the
We-
water district? Do we
I
need to
think
wait for that?
We need to push that back, so I'll,
Okay.
I would wait until we get, because
Yeah.
again, if there's an issue here that we need to get clarification on, or that we're not comfortable until something gets resolved, we may not want to have the public informational hearing, because we may not have the information provided to the public.
Okay.
Is my only-
probably all the dates on our schedule will be pushed back 1 board meeting,
Okay,
just.
okay.
But I think they, believe MRB, when they were proposing their schedule, they built in a little bit of.
Yeah, there's
flex, just
there's
so that
play in there.
In case something comes up, there's, we're
Yep.
not up against it, so to speak.
Oh. Proclamation that I presented to Town Justice Donald Nab. Don Nab is retiring from service of the town after he originally started for the town in 1987. And I have a proclamation. Whereas a town is only as great as its citizens who demonstrate exemplary service to their community, whether through participation in voluntary programs, through unique personal achievement, or in their professional or other endeavors, or simply through a lifetime of good citizenry. And whereas it is with honor, the honorable town supervisor, wish they wouldn't have said that, can recognize and pay tribute to those within the town of Rush who have made strong contributions to their communities and serve as role models for their peers. And whereas the Honorable Justice Donald Nab Jr. has served the town board beginning in 1987, and whereas Honorable Justice Nab has held the position of Town of Rush Code Enforcement Officer, Building Inspector, Fire Marshal, Honorable Town Board Member, and Honorable Town Justice. And whereas he has served as a mentor and leader, giving of his time to multiple Boy Scouts. And whereas Donald Nab Jr. served as an elected position as Fire Commissioner. And whereas Donald Nab Jr. will be remembered for his hard work and dedication. And where the Honorable Town Supervisor has chosen to recognize his true dedicated elected public official. And whereas the proclamation will be presented to the town board on the 30th of December to ratify by the adoption of this proclamation, be part of the official minutes and become a permanent record of the town of Rush. And therefore be it resolved, the Honorable Justice Donald Nab Jr., an influential resident with deep roots in the Rush community, has exemplified outstanding citizenry, a tradition of excellence, and a commitment to the justice of the town of Rush, Monroe County, and the great state of New York. Dated, I presented this to them on its last day of court, December 16th, 2024. The bids for the roof on the number 7 over at White Springs Farm. There were concerns about the difference in prices. Reading through the responses. I'm not sure how we're I mean, Highland Contractors is by far the cheapest, but I'm not absolutely sure that it includes prevailing wage. And I don't know how we go about making sure that that is done.
Mhm.
Well, can you just go back to him and question it and then we can, I
Well,
mean,
if I go back to him and he submits a different number, then we have to give everyone who bid on the job a chance to revise their bid.
Wouldn't they have to provide a certified payroll? Being a job like that?
Yeah. Well, Kevin, how
The
do we?
risk is that if they didn't properly, if they put in this figure and it wasn't based on prevailing wage and we get into the job and now they're starting it and it's not right, we're gonna have an issue with the cost. Now they're gonna say the cost went up exponentially. It's like, well, you kind of contracted for it and does the roof get done? Have to go after it. I don't know that without clarification, if it's based on prevailing wage, if it's a, you know, a response that the town can accept because it's so far below what the others were. I don't think it's your determination, but to me, it just seems like there's something.
Something's off.
Right.
How many square feet is this?
I'm not sure. I actually was gonna go and measure it today and I didn't get over there, but it's just is so much below.
Yeah,
I mean, you hate to keep kicking this can down the road, but I mean,
I don't want to get caught.
right, but so could you just, instead of asking them to resubmit, could you just give them a call and say, hey, when you price this, did you price this at prevailing wage? Then if the answer is no, then you can go back to everybody and say, we had an error. Could you resubmit?
Well, it's not everyone. The issue is it's not everyone's error. It would be that individual's error.
Right, but if they get to give a new number, then you have to give them.
If you're gonna allow that particular respondent to give a new number, then my suggestion would be everybody's got to be afforded the opportunity to submit it.
Right, say, could you?
Well, they don't have to, but they should be afforded the opportunity.
Right, that's what I'm saying. At least I'll say, listen, we had a submission that wasn't correct. We're offering them a chance to resubmit. You all have a chance to resubmit if you would like.
Everybody can give us their best offer.
Right.
Or you don't have to change it, but.
But you have the opportunity to, then we're covered.
Either that, or if you're not comfortable with any of the other respondents or the way that the bids came in, you can reject the whole thing and submit it for another bid. You don't have to hold it out for another, month. Certainly, you could give a shorter time frame. But usually to that, when there's a question in kind of the scope and you want to provide more specificity to the respondents to make sure that they're clear on what they're doing.
Yeah.
We certainly you could do it that way as well.
But I mean,
I think that if you're gonna give an opportunity for anybody to revise a bid, everybody needs to be for that same opportunity.
But if Supervisor Wolliver calls them and asks if they use prevailing wage in their estimate and they said, yes, 100% we did, then that's an accurate estimate. We can move forward without we don't have any more resubmissions. You're not getting anything new at that point. We can just bring it back at the next meeting.
Yes, but because it was part of the bid scope, it should be based on prevailing wage. So
I was gonna say they were all given
they're
that,
all given the opportunity
same-
to provide it based on the information.
Highland Contracting has done work for the town before, and they know that they have to pay prevailing wage,
Yeah.
but this is a different guy.
Man, I'm looking through these and I looked through them and I thought that I'm like, man, that one's way cheaper. But nowhere on any of these does it say does it prove that they're paying prevailing wage anywhere?
for any of them,
Any of them.
yeah.
Right. Again, I think if you're asked a question, then I would state to everybody. Just want to clarify that these amounts are based on prevailing wage, which is part of the original scope. And then give everybody an opportunity to confirm, and if they didn't, to resubmit based on prevailing wage, just to make sure, and if somebody modifies it, they modify it, if they don't, they don't. But then you'll get at least a more closer.
So we could just simply say that
and
to
allow
all of them,
all-
to
all of
their
them.
emails, and just say,
And then give them a date certain by which they need to the extent that they.
and
need
it
to
could be get
modify.
back to us within 5 days or something.
Yeah.
Because
That would
again,
be
this
fine.
isn't, it's not you're only going back to the individuals that responded.
Yeah,
You're allowing everybody the opportunity to confirm that it is based on prevailing wage. And if somebody needs to say, oops, I made a mistake, fine. If somebody decides to, to modify their bid accordingly, that can be done. But at least you're giving everybody the opportunity to confirm that.
That'd be,
I will send emails to all 4 contractors tomorrow and ask for a response by next Wednesday. Next Friday.
Then that way we can at least move it forward and, get the work done. But again, I just don't want to be in a situation where somebody's now, balking at the job because they were bidding not understanding, again, it's on them,
Right.
but it's still gonna be problematic for the town. It doesn't get us to where we need to be with a.
We don't-
new fit.
We don't need that headache.
No, we don't need that.
Make sure
We don't need
everyone's in
any
the
headaches.
clear and understanding what's going on.
And again, to the extent that nobody made it explicit, this is we're really just looking for clarification and confirmation that
Yeah.
everybody understood the assignment and responded.
All right, I'll take care of that tomorrow.
Thank you.
I had on here to schedule interviews for the zoning board of appeals, but I think we need to place an ad in the paper for more applicants. We have 2 applicants current on file for an open position on any of the boards. And we need 4 people. I don't know if you want to interview with Phyllis Wickerham and Rich Anderson, who have current applications for board membership. I don't know if you wanted to interview them. At this point, the zoning board of appeals cannot function because they only have 2 members. I don't know if we should be in a hurry to appoint someone to it and then try to fill in the rest of the positions later. We should put an ad in the paper.
Okay.
Today or tomorrow.
Having received those resignations, I did reach out again to Lori to see if she would
Stay on.
extend it for a time period until you have more, I don't,
You want to get a full slate of applicants before we interview anybody? Okay.
Yeah.
If you reach out to Lori and see if she's willing to stay for a little while.
At least that'll allow you to, the board to act.
Yeah, that's,
And again, it's gonna have to be unanimous, but at least we'll give them.
at this point, I don't think they have anything for next month, so we should be good for that.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet.
say.
It's been quiet.
Yeah.
It's been quite- They didn't have a meeting, I don't think the last 2 months, there's been no.
No, I
meeting.
don't think so that I
So-
remember.
Okay.
And I know the planning board's agenda has been,
This,
at the last, it has been, but at the last meeting, when we were looking at the applications that are forthcoming, that number seems to dwindle. There's like only like 1 or
okay,
maybe 1 or 2 matters coming through. So I think that's, the pipeline is getting quieter
all right, so
at
we'll
the
hold,
moment. So this is a good time.
we'll need a motion to place an ad.
I so move to place an advertisement for the open positions on the sub boards, both planning and zoning. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Ice,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye. Public informational meeting is set back.
I have a quick, just go quickly.
Mhm.
Or anybody that we would pick has to show that they have insurance,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. That's a major component of the bid package.
Yeah,
Make sure all of that stuff's covered.
right.
The audits we did, I had a. I have a letter that, about the audits. Do I need do I need to read that or have the board members? It's,
the only required resolution is the one for the court audits. The other ones are just something in the notes that you have done it.
okay. Dan Chase and I have audited the clerk's office, and I will submit the paperwork to you.
Gene and I performed the supervisor's office.
Right.
What
day was that?
I-
That was.
Was it a Monday or
It was,
Tuesday?
So-
Monday or
It's the same
Tuesday,
day.
a couple of
Yeah.
weeks
Same day
ago.
as that,
Okay,
So with that, when you do that for the minutes, if there's any findings, you should state whether there's findings to go back on as well. So,
If the audit revealed there was an inconsistency or a concern, you would.
so that,
identify.
I found everything to be documented quite well.
We gave you our
December 7th.
comments.
So there was no findings were noted.
No.
I'm trying to think of the financial term. Audit, accounts and auditors use.
Material misstatements.
Yes, or issues of control.
well, so I'm sorry, were there two?
There were two different, okay,
I know there were, but
and we gave our
To
comments
restate
to the supervisor on our audit,
I believe they're on my desk.
okay.
But there was no financial misconduct. Everything seemed in order.
That we.
Yeah.
That jumped out at us. There were other miscellaneous things, but nothing that would jump to that level.
okay, and that's Councilman Morelli and Councilman Brown that did that audit.
Yes.
The date was December 17th for both.
Thank you.
Resolution to approve the AccuFund Core Standard Agreement upgrade.
Yeah, it was on the 17th.
Pam, could you address that?
Yeah, so AccuFund is the software that we use right now to do the abstract. And right now, we have a contract that is with LGSS. And the portion of AccuFund is being carried by LGSS. As far as the cost right now, the cost will be going up substantially since AccuFund went public. So when they went public, the cost for LGSS is going to be going up. The AccuFund is now being called AF Anywhere. And if we contract with them in this year, we will be saving, I can't remember the dollar amount, but it's between 39 and 5,300 for this year. Next year, it will be going up to 5,340. The difference of contracting with AccuFund, AF Anywhere now versus going next year, it's gonna go up the same. The difference is gonna be $200-300 difference. So going with the upgrade, AF Anywhere now, at this cost for this year, 2025, is a cost savings because it's gonna be going up further if we don't. So,
It looks like somewhere like around $1,400, something like that.
Yeah.
difference.
That we saved
right.
By acting now.
by acting now.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
by acting now, so. That's what I'm proposing. We did look at the new software, the upgrading new software. It does function pretty much the same, but much faster and quicker for us to get the information in and extract some information when we're trying to input or do corrections. And the same thing with what Janice does with LGSS and coordinating with her stuff.
I so move to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement online agreement with AccuFund AF Anywhere with an annual fee of $3,960 for 2025 and an annual fee for 2026 of $5,340 billed in quarterly installments pending attorney's review. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Pies,
Aye.
Councilman Chase,
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Supervisor Williver,
Aye. That wraps up our business for tonight's town board meeting. Next town board meeting will be the organizational meeting on January 8th, and that'll be followed by the next town board meeting on the 22nd. And we have a workshop on the 13th for, yeah,
The commercial.
yes, the
rezoning,
commercial district.
Not rezoning, I'm sorry, commercial district
Yeah,
code update.
And Conservation Board will meet on the 9th. Zoning Board, I don't believe is meeting this month, and Planning Board will meet on the 28th. We're gonna have an executive session following the meeting, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn,
What is the,
to move to
for, give the state the purpose of the executive session for the person, is it a personnel matter?
personnel matter.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
We're gonna stay right in here, so Luther can.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it's like, what are those things?
Is there any chance I could be part of that executive session?
I think you were the one who might have raised the question.